Hey guys, we're just gonna get right into it today. I didn't film an intro, so I'm gonna start with some liquid latex. Anyone will do. This one's by Graftobian. I like it because it has a little applicator thingy, so it's easy to apply. I'm gonna make like a Joker smile across almost like from the outer corner of my mouth up to like just below the contour of my cheek. I get thicker at the corner of my mouth, and then as I go out, I'll make it thinner. I'm gonna apply 2 layers to the inner corner of my mouth because we're going to create a tear. We want this to be like a prominent part of the tear right here. We're going to do that first because this needs time to dry before we can work with it. So definitely want it to be the first thing that you do. Then I'm going to take my cream color palette by Imagic. What else? And I'm going to do my eyebrows next. I'm going to do sort of a really like rough around the edges, like hairy colored brow. So first thing I do always when I do a colored brow, white it out with a white cream color, and then powder it with a white eyeshadow. My hair is always in the way. I need to get a cut soon so it doesn't just look like I'm trying to seduce y'all, run my fingers through my hair every damn 5 seconds. I don't know. Is it working? Because if it is, I won't stop. We can be together forever. I have these long periods where I don't have anything to say, like I finish what I'm saying quickly and then I never do it. Sorry if my camera is gonna be like, my background's gonna be like tilted and weird sometimes because I don't have camera straight when I do like my second and third recordings. So it's gonna look a little tilted and weird. I apologize for that. Right now it looks fine, but I'm just warning you. Now I'm using the green cream color as of now to sort of map out the general shape of the brow and start drawing these like wild hairs upward. I went a little too wild with the brow. I did this look originally on Instagram on a Halloween and posted it, and people wanted a tutorial, which is why I'm doing it now. And I didn't go quite as crazy with that brow, and I like the way it turned out a little bit better. But I'm basically showing you guys the same techniques, so it's all good. I'm starting with creams, and then I'll go to powders in a second. I'm using some green cream color, and then some brown cream color, and just this little like liner brush. Making sure to define the arch of the brow as well as drawing all these little tiny hairs. We're gonna go with a bunch of different products to really give this brow lots of texture. I'm gonna take some shadow. I'm gonna take Sugarpill's Midouri, a nice emerald green, and I'm gonna go over the same areas and the same motions. Add another color and dimension to the brow. Then I'm going to take Anastasia Beverly Hills Morocco, which is a nice reddish brown, and follow Soot. All doing this with the same brush, by the way. Then I'm actually going to take liquid lipsticks, and I'm going to take Kat Von D's Lolita 2. Nice terracotta color. And I'm going to run this through because this is going to give us some more like opaque hair as opposed to a more like sheared out hair that like using the shadow and the cream color would give us, using a more like liquid paint like this. They are looking crazy right now. I'm gonna clean these up with concealer. I definitely went a little too overboard. But it's okay because we all make mistakes. Even professionally on camera, like a professional. Now I'm taking NYX Lingerie and I believe Teddy, just a nice dark brown, to add yet another color and texture to the brow. I wanted like green and brown with a little tinge of red because we always got that Joker's bloody redness. Gonna be a very monochromatic look we're going for here. I'm gonna take the white cream color and clean up my brow on the bottom. On the top, we're not going to bother because we want it to be messy on the top, but we want it to be even on the bottom starting up. So we're going to clean down the bottom, and then we're also going to prime our eyes because we're going to be going with a nice bunch of colored shadows. I want to make sure they stand out. So we definitely want a white base on our eye for this look, as we do with any colored eyeshadow looks. And for these creams, I use a flat synthetic brush. I find that applies the creams the best, gives me the greatest amount of precision. I'm just blending out the excess with my finger to make sure it's really sheared out where it doesn't create any harsh lines. Then I decide to just take the brush with the product left on it and just define the detail a little bit more because I want it to still look like a brow and not this weird like caterpillar thing, which it kind of still looks like. It really does look like a caterpillar. Like what the hell did I do to my face? Oh my god, got some very hungry caterpillar up in this bit. Alright, now I am setting it with white eyeshadow. Y'all know what it is. Then I'm going to do my eyes. I'm going to start with Anastasia Beverly Hills Morocco again. It's a fluffy blush. I'm going to do the same exact thing that you see me do in every tutorial with like a dramatic smoky eye. Go in the crease. I'm going to bring it all around though. I want this to be very halo eyes. It's going to be at the same intensity in the inner corner all the way to the outer corner. But I'm still going to start low. And I'm going to start because then I want the most part to be lowest towards the lid, and then as I go upward to blend it out, I'm going to go upward in circular motions to blend with less product in the brush, and that's going to help us get a nice clean blend as well as a defined color. Same exact thing. You guys see me do this millions of times by now, so I don't need to. If you guys want me to go into like a really detailed like eyeshadow application video, I definitely can. But because eyeshadow is something I always focus on in my looks, I kind of tend to go into detail always anyway. I'm taking Midouri once again, same brush, same motions. Get what brush this is, it's either Morphe or Mikasa. I can tell by looking at it from this point of view from editing the video, but I can't tell which one. But I know it's one of the two. Those are like two of my favorite brands for brushes. I'm going to take this Sugarpill shadow called Subterranean. It's like a dark shimmery forest green. It's going to go nicely in the crease. I'm going to keep this a little bit lower than the other colors. Make sure to go in both the outer corner and inner corner once again and really blend it. But not blend it as much because I definitely want this to be more defined than the other colors. And we want it to stay lower than the other colors do. We're really going to start creating that smoky eye. I love these Sugarpill shadows. They're not talked about enough. Well, I mean, they're talked about, just not as much on my channel. But I really do love them. I have 6 and they're so pigmented. They're great for colored looks. And I think I'm taking more Morocco because I want that orangey, like brown to come through in the crease. That warm brown really complements the green. So I'm going with more Morocco in the blur up brush in the upper crease area. Both inner and outer corner to really blend things out. Keep it smoky. This is a really cute brush that Ipsy sent me. They keep sending these really cute brushes that are like encrusted with jewels. Going with more Midori, the emerald green shade, just going with all the colors, make sure they're all defined and pronounced. I will tend to go in at least twice with the same colors. Because when you blend things out, you just tend to lose color. Like, no matter what shadow you use or like how good quality it is, that's just kind of how eyeshadow works. So you kind of just have to go in multiple times if you want to look the best you can. It's nothing to do with the ability of the shadow, it's just how shadows are. Now I'm taking this really cool color. It's like a glittery grayish black. It's actual glitter flecks in it. It's called Soot and Stars, also from Sugarpill. This is gonna be our like final defining color. Gonna go lowest of the low on our eyes, basically on the lid, barely in the crease. Like applying on the lid in the inner parts, outer parts, leaving the lid bare because we are applying a shimmer shade there. And blending it out, not quite as much. Just making sure it just blends into the colors. And I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Moondust palette. I think this is the shade Galaxy. Not 100% sure. I'll leave it down below, but it's the green one in the palette. Just putting this right on the lid for a beautiful, this is like the perfect color. Exactly what I needed. Exact finish as well. I really do love these eyeshadows. They're expensive, but there's really nothing like them. They're so freaking glittery and reflective. Then I'm just cleaning up the edges with some translucent powder. I just like to pack it right in, and then I'm also going to take it, clean up, to highlight under the brow bone and clean up the shadow to make sure it's not so messy in the crease. Pretty good if I do this on myself. So even if you don't want to be a joker, you still get a really cute eye look out of this video. So you're welcome. Now I'm going to start pulling out the liquid latex. I tried to do a certain thing where I just create a tear in the middle and pull across, but it didn't really work out. So what I actually wind up doing, and I had to do this in the last look as well, is painting on a second one in the same way I painted the first one, just underneath, leaving a gap in the middle because we're going to paint in there. And then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to tear it like, I'm going to tear the upper one above and the low one below to bring it farther away and make that gap bigger. So basically what we're trying to do is look like our skin is tearing apart. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to prime my face while I let that dry. I'm going to take the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I just want to use a primer to make my skin look nice and blurred because I'm taking this off right after to go to work, so I'm not concerned with longevity for similar reasons, and also because it's a very light shade. I'm going with the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation because we're going for pale-ass Joker skin. And I'm blending this out with my makeup brush's rose gold brush. It's very tricky to blend this out because I had to avoid my eye makeup and my crazy ass eyebrows that like went up almost halfway up my damn forehead. So I had to take my time, but it was worth it. And I had to avoid the liquid latex thing as well. So definitely want to use a smaller brush, which is contrary to what you would normally use for this look, to make sure you get in all them nooks and crannies and avoid the areas you want to avoid. Going with Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, what else? Adding a few dots here and there. And then blending it out with my favorite concealer brush, the Real Techniques Contour Brush. I can't believe this Tarte Shade Hair Concealer. I've had this almost a year now and I still have so much left. And I use it so much. It's amazing. Like this is really worth the money. Like you barely have to restock this. Because it's so full coverage, you need the tiniest amount, even if you're doing like the fullest of full coverage. It changed my life. It's really worth the hype. Now I'm powdering my face, RCMA color powder, like always. Now I'm taking these scissors and I'm going to start doing that tearing action, just going right under and just tearing it upward. So it literally does look like skin peeling away from your face. That's what it's kind of meant to do when you use it in this way. Peeling the upper one above and the lower one below. Now I'm going to start shading in that crazy Joker mouth. I'm going to start with cream color. I'm taking some red, some brown, and some black. A nice bruised, textured look and going in between and also on the actual tears of the skin itself. Just look like it's all like bloodied up and it's actual like your skin peeling off. Basically creating a skin tear wound right here. Taking the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette because it just happened to have a lot of colors I wanted to use. It has tons of reddish browns and like dark browns and blacks, and I just went with a bunch of random colors and just stippled it everywhere. You don't really have to be precise and like symmetrical with this. You just kind of make it look as bloody and like scabbed and as gross as possible. So I'm actually going to go over again with the creams after, which I would normally do after I put powder, but because you want it to look kind of gross, you can do that. And so if it tears off, liquid latex is very sticky. I actually use liquid latex as like lash glue sometimes when I lose my lash glue because it's so sticky. You can literally just put more liquid latex underneath and stick it back on. Absolutely no worries there if it falls off. Just going in with different shadows and creams and whatnot and blending. I'm going to add some blood later at the very end. I think it looks cool. This looks intimidating, but it's really not that hard. Like, I did this look in an hour when I wasn't filming and maybe an hour and a half when I was filming this. So it's like, this is a fairly easy special effects thing to do. Like, I know it looks intimidating and scary and like advanced, but it's really not. Like, I think anyone who doesn't makeup or gonna hold a freaking makeup brush can do this if they just get their shit together. And if you don't, even if you don't have your shit together, you can probably do it because I sure as hell don't. I have a lot of footage of this. Wow. I definitely could have cut some out. It's like you get the idea. Sorry about that. Now I have a little fan because I'm so extra. I'm taking Soot and Stars again. I'm gonna contour with this. Because this is very pigmented and also like literally black. Even though we're not really going for a natural contour, it's kind of dirtying up the face while giving it some definition. You want to be careful not to go in with too much. So I go in with literally one tap and I blend. And for the forehead, I don't even go back in. I just use the excess on the brush to just go for it. And it still looks hella patchy and bruised, but I mean, it's not the worst thing for this look to look a little patchy and bruised, so I didn't mind. But I did go in with a little bit of powder, a light powder, I forget exactly which one, Morphe G4, to just blend the like contour and skin tone together a little bit on both my forehead and on my under eyes. Now, so what I want to do here, I wanted like a different tool, but I couldn't find it. I'm going to show you guys below the stipple paint technique I like to use. I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. I just don't think it looks as good. I just took some like water activated paint by Kryolan, and I took a fan brush and just stippled on red, black, brown paint. I think I did like the other technique in my other look, and I just think it looked better. I'm gonna leave a video showing that technique below from a great YouTuber I know. Her name is Glam, and she does that technique with an entirely different look. This look, by the way, I should say, was inspired by an artist named Hank and Henry. I saw him do it on, I believe it was Jeffree Star. I'm not going to link that video down below because it's on Jeffree Star's channel, and I don't know if y'all are comfortable with that. So, but you can find it on his channel if you're interested to see the original look. Anyway, I'm going to take Makeup Forever Agua XL liner, line my inner eyes, and wow, we're almost done. Smoking out with more Soot and Stars. I should have done lashes, but I was like, I like the grunginess of it, so that was the excuse I made for myself not to do lashes this time. I didn't do it in the original either. I put on some mascara off camera though. And now I'm gonna, for the lips, I'm just using the red cream color and just making that Joker smile. Gotta do red lips with this look. I don't think it makes much sense otherwise, because it is the Joker. And we're not really doing like an actual lip shape, we're just kind of coloring our lips in and just connecting it to the mouth. Because Joker's mouth is kind of crazy, so I wasn't too concerned about it looking pretty. I'm going to take some fake blood and fill it in. And that's going to really add that like last layer of depth that we need to make this look pop in. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching.